Back to work, start of a week for us here. Hopefully you guys are feeling good out there. You do a little dance if you're feeling good on Tuesday. That's cool. Yeah, get loose. You know, that's another thing. Like, just get that stress out of the neck and shoulders. You can do whatever kind of goofy warm-ups you want with Jackson in the background here. I'm going to just quickly tell you that we've got one more week of sticking to our blocks of 4 movements that we do 2 times, and then we repeat those blocks on 3 separate occasions with new movements as we get along through the workout. Beyond that, pay attention to yourself. If you are feeling that there's anywhere that's bothering you, don't work it, don't overwork it. You know, don't be afraid to substitute in a movement. Keep yourself safe while you're at home. And then if you got some of your own tunes in the background, you can do that. Weight-wise, what we're looking at, we're not using a lot of weights today, but if you do have those 2 moderate weights or that single heavy weight, that heavy weight coming into the 4th movement of each of our blocks is our quote-unquote strength section as to what we're doing. Well, Jackson, shall we get into the whole meat and potatoes here?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start us out with the warm-ups. We're going to have our feet a little bit wider than the shoulders, I should say. We're going to bring those hands up, we're going to bring the eyes up, and we are going to breathe in. We exhale, we bring it down, we do a little booty shaking side to side. All right, and then from there we work low squat. Even if you're high through the squat, doesn't matter, but bring yourself up, eyes up, and then stand up through those heels, reach up through those hands, big inhale going in. Exhale as you fold forward. Little shaking, little booty shaking. Okay, and then that low squat. So I want you to work that low squat in, push against those knees, maybe move a little side to side. 3, 2, recenter yourself, stand up through those heels, reach up, and we got 2 to go. Inhale, exhale, bring it down. Little side to side, and then find that low squat. We're moving in our low squat now, so we keep that pressure against the knees. We're going side to side a little bit. Then we recenter and we stand. Reach it up, breathe in. Exhale, bring it down. Final one of these. We'll squat in 3, 2, bring it down. Keep that side to side motion going. 3, 2, center, and stand on up. All right, the second of our warm-up movements. This is our working on our hinging. We're going to keep a split stance, but a very condensed split stance. If we've got our right leg in front, we've got our left arm up into the air, and we're going to start by hinging down and then sweeping that arm to the opposite foot, hinging up, then following with the arm. So hinge first, follow with the arm movement second. Hinge up first, follow with that arm. Okay, and do notice that on your right leg, your forward leg, your knee stays on top of that foot. All right, let's go ahead and switch it over. Opposite leg out in front. Keeping the knees a little soft through here and the legs pretty close together. Hinge it coming down first, top half, flat back, and follow with the hand. Hinge it up, follow with that arm. All right, hinge, flat back, little cross should open up a little extra stretching. All right, bringing it up tall. We got 1 more to go. Hinge it down, hips back, hinge it up, hips forward with that arm to follow. Love it. Third up, we're doing lateral steps. We're going to take it step at a time. Feet are together as our start point. We're going to step out to our left first, hinge it back second, and then raise that inside arm third. Stand on up, switch it up. Step it, sit into it, eyes up, and press up. All right, step it. Hinge it back, inside arm, and tall. Step it, hinge it. Let's do 2 more, last 2 here. Good step. Feel that heel on the outside foot. Push on up in our final one. All right, folks, our last warm-up, we're gonna go onto our back. We're gonna do a combo using our hip press. We're going to have our hands right in front of our shoulders, and we're going to drive our elbows into the floor. So we're kind of lifting up some of the spine from that floor. We're going to start by lifting one leg up, dropping it down, switching. All right, now reach and turn to one side, come back down, switch. All right, and then go back to those feet lifts. Work in control of the hips through those legs, and then control of the shoulder and the core with rotations. Reaching. Next one up. We got last set. And rest, recover, everybody. Very good. You all are officially warm. Jackson and I got block number 1 to go over with you today. It is a Tuesday. It is a part of this programming, so we got our Bulgarian split squats taking place. That'll be the 4th movement. That will be your strength movement. But let's start you out with exercise number 1. You can practice with us at home. We're going to have room to walk out into a plank position on our hands, and then we're going to do some rotating planks. So bending the knees, lowering down, hands to the floor, and walking out to a good plank. Then we're going to turn, get the heels to tap to the floor, lift up to one side. Turn it, switch it, up to the next. And then from here, walking back, arching your butt up, come all the way up through there. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is our pulse. We're going to come down to hands and knees position. We're going to pretend like we're a dog on a fire hydrant. We're going to lift our leg, and we're going to pulse it up on one side for 20 seconds. Then we'll bring it down, we'll switch it over. We'll work that same kind of small pulse to the next side. All right, third, from here, we turn and go onto our back. We're going to do a movement that kind of resembles doing our hollow hold. So on our back, we've got arms extended out. Now we're going to lift up, and we're going to try to get to the top of our hollow hold where we can push our low back down well, and then we're going to release back to the floor smoothly. Come back up, and then slowly coming back down, really getting that full body activity into what we're doing. Last up, it's the Bulgarian split squat. We will be doing that Bulgarian split squat on the right side only in block number 1. So 2 times, and if you wanted to add weight, maybe the first time, but definitely the second time, so we build strength into the front of that right leg, that entirety of that right leg. You got it, my man? So let's have everyone get ready. We're going to start out by doing walking out to plank, so I need some space out in front of you. The only movement you're going to be needing a weight for would be your final movement. We'll start you in 10. So walking out to a plank and then doing 2 rotating planks before we walk it out. 2, 1, let's fold it down, bring it down, and walk it on out. From here, the heels tapped, we open. Come on down, switch it over. Back to center and walk up, arching those hips up, stand up tall. All right, bring it back down as an option if you need to. You can bend the knees here, lower them. You can open top leg. Okay, turn, open top leg, straightening it, and then lift the knees and come back up. So once again, as that option, and this is going to come up multiple times today, you can come down to those knees and the top leg straightens as you turn. Again, lift, bring it on up nice and tall. We got ourselves about 15 seconds working through here. Good opportunity to work on kind of shoulder stability. Right, we're stabilizing the body as we're walking out, stabilizing as we're rotating. Last little bit, we'll go finish with this in 3, in 2, in 1. All right, now our second movement is a hands and knees position to the floor, and it is our pulse. It's 20 seconds on one side. We're gonna hold the knee bent as the leg is up, and we're pulsing beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. So little up and down. Now you're trying to push the hands into the floor, kind of pressing the body a little bit away from the floor. And you're thinking about your core stabilizing. We're going to switch straight to the next side, beginning in 3, in 2, switch it over. Lift it, hold it, and pulse it. Once again, press into the floor. Activate your core. And last few, 3, 2, 1. Turn yourself around. Go onto your back. Arms are going to be overhead. Now this is going to be kind of getting to the top point of a hollow hold and then releasing back down. Getting in 3, in 2, in 1. Head comes up a little bit. Low back press at the top. Slow release back down. As an option, we can bend the knees. Okay, so we can hug in a little bit and then release back down, keeping those knees bent as a more manageable approach for anybody. That's it. Once again, full extension. The slow portion down is where our strength is built. Do not sacrifice doing that under the best, slowest conditions possible. We're gonna finish this up and we're gonna go to our split squats in 3, in 2, in 1. Stand up and you're gonna work on your right leg for your Bulgarian split squat. If you wanna have any weight, now's the time. Otherwise, we can start round 1 with body weight. Weights at your sides, 3, 2, 1. Sit back onto that heel in front. If your right leg is in front, I'm thinking my right knee is gonna pull just a little bit out to that right side during the up and down. This is 1 minute. This is an absolute burner. If you need to take a break at any point in time, that is always okay. All right, and as you stand up, you're breathing out. Got 30 seconds. Now, something Jackson and I were talking about earlier, he was saying he's got his reflection in our TV over here, and that helps him think about keeping his shoulders square, not dipping side to side. So if you can think about your shoulders need to stay in that straight line, that's also going to kind of keep your chest up higher. That's going to keep your back engagement going. Last little bit. Finished with these in 3, in 2, in 1. That is 30 seconds of a well-earned break. Woo, nicely done, amigo.
All right.
Nicely done. So we've got about another 20 seconds of recovery. We're going to repeat everything. And once again, our Bulgarian split squat will stay on our right side in block number 1 here. Now, we're going to start out by doing our walkouts to the planks and doing those rotating planks. Once again, you got on the knees as an option in 3, in 2, in 1. Lower it down, walk out. All right, then smooth turns. Right, really opening that top hand. And then arch those hips up as you come back up as a way to help stretch some tight hamstrings. All right, now on the option, you can walk out to the plank and then go down to the knees. You can lift that top leg, come back down, both knees down, lift that top leg, come down, hold yourself up into that plank and walk it all the way back. And once again, this is going to come into play with another movement that we're practicing today. So get your practice in now, do it slowly, and get your body familiarized with what's going on. Folks, we got ourselves 10 seconds. Finish out your last good 1 here. After this, we're going to stay down on the floor, hands and knees, in 3, in 2, in 1. Second up, we're dog on a fire hydrant. We got hands under our shoulders, pushing into the floor. Knees are directly under the hips. We're going to have that leg up and pulsing, beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. So each pulse up, breathe out. Steady that body, push into the floor. We're going to switch straight to the next side. Beginning in 3, in 2, switch it over. Okay, stabilize that body. Drive fingertips, palms into that floor. And feel that hip, feel some glute doing that pulse for you. After this, we're going to turn around and go onto our back in 2, in 1, flip it around, hands overhead, kind of hollow hold top position with our full body crunch. All right, beginning in 3, in 2, in 1, lift up, low back push, now release with that control. Up, breathe out, slowly back down. Now, if you can keep your eyes on the ceiling, you're going to keep that neck happier. Option, bend those knees, right? Keep the knees bent. And just go a little up and down, lifting those feet. 10 more seconds, then we stand up and go back to that Bulgarian split squat on our right leg. Let's go finished up here in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, if you didn't grab weight or if you want to grab more weight, this is your time to do so. You're on your right leg out in front, back foot behind you, or split lunge can work too. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Now 1 minute. So focus in for the long haul. Okay, you're thinking chest up. You're thinking your shoulders are a little back and down. And you should notice the minute you do those two things, your core is working harder. Now, I'm all for working that core, but primarily we're aiming for leg strength, right butt strength, right hamstring and quad strength. Push through that heel, standing tall at that top point. You got 20 seconds left. Good. Keep that focus. Finish what you've started here. Nicely done, folks. 10 seconds. Your finish line is in front of you. Last bit through that right leg. Break to follow. Finished in 3, in 2, and rest. Bend those knees. Safely put those weights down. Woo!
Woo, baby.
Now, there's all sorts of things that you can't see going on in the background here. And one of the things going on in the background is we got some really good smells coming from Sarah's crock pot, which also helps us up kind of that nice humid feeling within the workout center, aka the living room.
Everybody should be very glad this is not in 4K.
Waterfalls. Don't chase them. Don't chase them. All right, let's go over block number 2 for them. So as we're practicing block number 2, this is where we're going to get into those rotating planks that I was telling you about. And it's important because we're going to do this one for a full minute, and I do expect a little bit of burnout to likely be taking place. So let's show them first where we're going to have a single weight, and we're going to be doing a Renegade Row, and then we're going to turn into a shoulder press. So a regular Renegade Row has a wide stance with our feet. We pull the weight in, and now we're going to twist to one side. We bring the heels down just for our side plank. We're going to press that weight up. We're going to rotate back down and smoothly lower that weight back down. So once again, you bring it in, you twist over, you keep the hips high, you bring it up, and you control it back down. As that more manageable approach, knees stay on the floor, we're going to, same thing, lift and hold before that top leg straightens, turns us, and repeat through there. So that is one side only for 1 minute. The second time around, we will switch the side in that movement. Now our second pulse movement is going to keep us in a hands and knees position. So we'll be here just like our last one. This time we extend the leg straight back. And we're going to do a little side to side wagging of that tail. 3, 2, then we bring it down. We switch it straight over for that additional 20 seconds on the second side. All right, from there, we turn it around, go onto our butt, and we get into a V-shaped position, and we're gonna do little bicycles with our knees. So arms are out, chest is up. We're gonna bring one knee in at a time. Manageable option can be tapping the heels to the floor, going in and out of that. And then, of course, we get the opportunity to finish with those Bulgarian split squats on your left side. Now, we don't want just that right side walking around nice and big. We want to even it out, get that left side looking good too. Once again, kind of follow the protocol that you did on your opposite side. If you started without weight in round 1, that's fine. If you want to add that weight right off the bat, this is your opportunity to get 2 minutes of some good leg strength building into your week. So we get ourselves started in a floor-facing position with your feet wider than usual, and that's going to help you stay balanced when we get into this Renegade Row. 10 seconds on one side only. You've got a moderate weight. Now, I'm going to show you that manageable option on the knees. 3, 2, 1. If I'm on the knees, the hips stay forward. I pull in, and now as I rotate, my top leg opens, straightens, push that weight up, and I control myself coming right back down. So pull in, rotate, lifting that top leg, press, and return. Now, this is also a potential burnout movement. So if you're burning out, which might have a high likelihood of happening, go down to doing it on your knees. And I'll continue to practice with you here. You got 30 seconds. If I'm on the knees, hips are forward. Pull that weight in. Top leg straightens. Up and press, and release smoothly back down. All right, we got ourselves about 10 seconds here, about 10 seconds. And we'll stay hands and knees, finishing up in 3, in 2, in 1. Move the weight over. Now from here, we're gonna do our extended leg pulse of a little side to side, little in, little out. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Get that leg extension, go side to side in 2, in 1. Now, still try to feel your glute. Isolate a little bit of that hip glute complex. Okay, and just small side to sides with smooth breathing. Find your out and your in. Switch in 2, in 1, switch, continue. Once again, stabilize the body, right? So work on really pushing those hands down, engaging that core, and now we've made this a great full body pulse. Okay, we're gonna turn around, go onto our butt next. In 2, in 1, flip it around, V-shaped position. Now with this, we wanna kind of lean back a little bit, keep our chest up. We're gonna reach our arms out, and I like palms up on this one. Feet up or feet to the floor in 3, in 2, in 1. Smoothly cycle the knees. 1 in, 1 out. When you kick out, breathe out. All right, good. So you're keeping tall. Now, if you need to, if you burn out, you're gonna start tapping a foot to the floor with each leg extension. That'll be your way to continue going through here. Got 10 more seconds, and then we get into the good stuff. Bulgarian split squats. My goodness, those Bulgarians. 3, 2, and 1. Stand on up. Your left leg now takes over from those Bulgarian split squats. Weight or no weight. But remember, this is a strength builder. Act accordingly. You got the weight in front of you if it's there. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So right off the bat, you're identifying your balance. Lock it in. Tight core muscles. Focused eyes. Good. Now that left knee lightly going out to the left side. Just that little bit makes a huge difference in what the hip's doing. 30 seconds. It's a marathon, folks. Keep working through there. Good. Find that determination, that focus. Keep standing and breathing out. Stand up, breathe out. 10 seconds left. Last few, then a 30-second break to follow. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Rest. All right. Now that left side's loosening up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Or tightening up, one or the other.
Or just jelly.
Or just jelly. Woo. Now as we start back over, we've got that Renegade Row with the twist and the push. It's on our opposite side this time. So remember that, we're only having one opportunity. Get into position, you're either on the knees or full plank. We start in 3, in 2, in 1, pull the weight in, rotate, up and press, and smooth, returning back down. I'm telling you, the smoother you make this movement, the harder you are working, and more specifically, the harder your core is really working. Now that more manageable approach, remember, kneeling position, pull that elbow in, open the top leg, straighten it, and press. All right, 20 seconds. Once again, our burner minute movement. Do your best to power through it. When you need to, drop to the knees and work that turn with the top leg opening. We'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Put the weight aside. Hands and knees position next. Now, if your wrists are starting to burn out, you can make fists underneath you. That can usually be a nicer point for some. Remember, extended leg, side to side pulse. 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds on 1. Find that booty. Find that core. Good. Keeping yourself real still. This is ideal. Switching in 3, in 2, in 1. Next leg out. Control it. We don't need a big kick. Make it small. Yes, lock that body into position. Last few, then we turn it around. In 3, in 2, in 1. Turn it around on your butt. Remember with this, chest up, we'll extend the palms out. We'll keep them off the floor. And with your feet, you're cycling in and out with those knees. 3, 2, 1. Now if you're breathing out with every kind of knee shift, if you need to, you can start tapping those feet to the floor. Whatever we can do to keep you going. And you're at a halfway point. You got 20 seconds remaining. Once again, if you burn out, you're welcome to kind of sit the feet to the floor, bring your body forward for a quick moment, few seconds, and then lean it on back and continue with that motion. Last few got less than 10, and then we go Bulgarian one more time. In 3, in 2, in 1. Stand up. Your left leg for your Bulgarian split squat is our focus for the last minute here. Add the weight if you haven't already. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Once again, you can be in a split stance if you don't have that surface behind you. Then we lock it in. We've got our marathon ahead. One good stand at a time. There we go. Sink knee out there. There we go, my man. Good. Left knee to left side. Left knee to left side, folks. Good. Remember to smile as we're doing this. It always makes things way, way better. And it can be a little bit of a grimace, but generally we do want to see lips curled. That's good. Yeah, and pearly whites over there. You seen the dentist lately? Those are looking good.
Of course.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Keep the control. Keep standing with authority. You are right towards the end, but it's the end in which we get the most out of what we're doing. 10 seconds left. Good. Last few finished up in 3, in 2, and 1. Safely put those weights down. Bend those knees back straight, please. Woo! Folks.
Oh, man.
That is 3 weeks of Bulgarian split squats. You can just tuck that right into the back pocket.
Woo!
And that back pocket should be a little bit tighter now. Should be growing a little bit of glute back there, if I'm not mistaken. Well done, my man.
Thank you.
Well done.
Woo.
Well done to you all out there as well. Let's show them our third and our final block for the day. So first one, we're going to be doing some squats. Now, if you wanted to add some weight to this, you're welcome to it, but it is 1 minute, and so you might be burning out. Kind of your discretion. We're going to start with a little bit of a wider squat position, wider foot position, and we're going to bring it down low. Okay, feet come together, step it out once, and come up. Okay, so there's one point where we bring the feet together, step out, squat up. Okay, bring it down, together, squat up. Okay, that's your first movement. So that's going to go for 1 minute. After that, we get into our pulsing, and we're going to get into some side core work. So Jackson and I are going to come down onto our sides. And with this, we're going to have that same kind of palms up reaching position. We're going to pull our knees in and smoothly go out. Just small ones for that pulse. We'll do that for 20, then we'll switch it over to the opposite side. Kind of working balance. Like this one definitely works your balance. After that, our third movement, we're going to turn back onto our original side. Elbow underneath you, top arm behind you, and we're going to roll down, and then we're going to open up clam position. So I'm going to keep my hips off the floor the whole time. I'm going to curl in during the down and really open elbow and knee up at the top. We'll do one side only, and then the second time around, We'll switch over into that opposite side. Last up, it's our strength movement. If you have some heavy weight, please grab it, stand up with us, and we're gonna do some marches where we're holding a weight up in front of our shoulders. So as we're here, we're gonna keep that weight in position for 1 minute. You're gonna practice balance of that knee lifting, a very small hold at the top, and then switching legs. Okay, this should be very dominant into the core, right? Our number one focus for that is not the balance, but it is the core overall and trying to just get that stronger. Ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so once again, you guys got the option with weights on your first movement for those low squats. Go ahead and reset this. We'll start in 10. Now, generally, I'd say without weight on this one. We're gonna try to burn out. Feet a little wide, low squat. 2, 1. Bring it down. Feet together, wide, and up. Bring it down, together, wide, up. Good, find those heels. Down, together, wide, up. Here, together, wide, up. And hopefully that's a little bit of kind of a mental thing that you can get. Clicking in, together, wide, back up through those heels. Excellent. Remember, these squats could still be here, right? We don't need to go all the way down in order to still maximize or to activate, I should say, the heels, to activate the glutes, to activate the core. All those good things that squats do for us. All right, we've got about 10 seconds left. After this, we're gonna go down to our side for our pulses. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down to your side. Okay, you're gonna have your arms reached out, and we're gonna be just gently pulsing in and out with those knees, keeping those feet off the floor. Starting in 3, in 2, in 1. So I'm about halfway onto my low back, as well as my left side. When those knees come in, breathe it out. We're gonna switch straight over to that second side. All right, we're gonna get started on that switch in 3, in 2, roll it over, switch it over. Okay. Now head is lifted, eyes are probably looking up towards a corner point. And then for exercise 3, we're gonna stay on our side. So finished up here in 3, in 2, in 1. Turn back to your original direction and remember which side you're on here, folks. Bend your knees, stack your feet, hand behind you, and lift your hips. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. You're gonna rotate under, and then you're gonna open up. Okay? Rotate under, elbow under, lift the knee as well as the elbow. Pulling backwards with both that knee and elbow. As you lift up, breathe out, right? Put that breath to what we're doing. Aim to keep the hips high. We maximize what we're getting out of this. Once again, remember what side we're on. The second time around, we go to the second side. All right, we'll be standing for our final movement. Let's go finished up here in 3, in 2, in 1. Stand up and grab heavy weight around you. We're gonna hold it out in front. I'd like the elbows to be at a 90-degree marker. Eyes should be looking right at that weight and marching in 3, in 2, in 1. Begin. You've got 1 minute. Once again, a marathon move. Now as we're here, we're thinking chest activation, lat activation right there, and bracing those core muscles, right? When we brace them, this is the support system for the spine. This is also the activity that we're trying to do to get to our burnout point. 30 seconds. If your arms burn out, you're welcome to bring the weights down to your sides and hold them off to the sides and still practice that march. Okay, so burnout option is here. Weights being held out, but down. Last few, 10 seconds, and then we've got a 30-second break coming up. All right, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. breather, break time, 30 seconds. And then we get that opportunity to do it one more time coming up. One more time. Okay, so we will start with the low squat, shifting laterally and standing up through that squat in 10. Feet are going to be a little bit wider than shoulders. This is the end, folks. Give me the best you can. Lower in 2 and 1. Feet together, feet wide and up. Squat it down. Feet together, feet wide and up. All right, finding that focus. Once again, finding those heels. Your body weight sits back. You always kind of push your butt backwards for heel activity. 30 seconds down, 30 seconds to go. Tighten those bellies. Find those heels. Perfect your final block today. That's it, that's it. We've got just over 10 seconds. After this, we go to our sides on the floor. Yeah, buddy, last few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Come on down to the floor. We've got pulses on your side, on both sides. We've got pulses for 20. Once again, palms up, feet up, bringing them in and out. 3, 2, 1. Now, each pulse, breathe out. Each time those knees come in, breathe out. We're going to switch straight to the next side to follow. All right, switching over. 3, 2, switch it. Continue. Once again, kind of shoulders staying up from that floor. Kind of grounding that low back side ab position below you. Now to follow this, we're going to go side plank on our opposite in 2, in 1. So get back into that condensed side plank, but this time on our opposite side. Elbow is underneath you. Stack those feet and knees. Top hand is behind you. We rotate under in 3, in 2, in 1, and then we open at the top. Okay, rotate under, open at the top. Good. Now as you open that knee, I want you to think about your butt, pulling that knee open. Right? I want you to think about lifting your hips when you come back up. And the more we can find and feel that, the more effective we are. Okay, 10 seconds, then we're standing. 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Grab your heavy weight. We've got marches to the finish. 10 seconds, we start. Holding that weight up in front of your eyes. Elbows 90-degree bent. 3, 2, 1. A march with a 1-second hold at the top of each of those knee lifts. Now, if your low back is starting to arch back a little extra, what I want you to do is think about coming forward a little bit. So by coming forward, not only are you going to flatten some of that low back arch, but you're going to feel those abs working even harder. That's it. We're breathing. We're in control. You got 30 seconds left in your workout. Dig down deep. 20 seconds. Come on. There we go. So Jackson went to that option of taking the weights down and out to the sides. Still thinking core, core, core. Last bit of marching. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Safely put those weights down. High five somebody cool around you. Or we'll give you some virtual high fives. You got a few in you? Okay, yeah. Ready? And go. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna do that. I like that. I'm gonna do, if you got like a corner shot out there. Ready? Go. Yeah. That was good. All right, so hopefully you guys are playing along out there well.
That was a new game.
It was, yeah. That was ad-lib right there. All right, folks, well, get yourself that water, then come on down onto your back. It is time for us to stretch, to chit-chat. We got a little bit of a wind down time into our post-workout routine. So, as you notice, Jackson, he's got those arms reaching overhead. He's going to start thinking more about how he can deepen and slow his breath along the way. In the meantime, I'm going to chit-chat about how we can absorb, most specifically, our nutrients and micronutrients today. So I have a thing that I like to say where it's not you are what you eat, it's you are what you absorb, right? If your body doesn't absorb something, and it's going to be flushed out, and it's not really going to have the effects that maybe we hope it does. Let's bring our right leg straight up. We'll bring our hands behind that and get into that hamstring stretch as a starter. Once again, let's keep our neck muscles a little relaxed. I know there's a presidential debate on tonight. We don't need to think about that kind of garbage. Just relax, breathe, and move that foot around a little bit. So, absorption. Basically, the majority of our absorption is happening along our digestive tract. So when we put food into there, there's digestive enzymes breaking down that food, and then the absorption process actually happens more within the small intestine. Let's bring that leg a little across, get into finding and feeling how that hip on the outside is now stretching. So a lot of micro and macronutrients that we're talking about specifically, from proteins, carbs, and fats down to our little vitamins, A, B, C, K, you name it. If we want to be able to absorb this stuff better, there's a number of things we can do, but it really comes down to how we treat our gut and our gut health overall. Let's get into that twist from here. We'll bring it across. Reaching out with the opposite arm is going to really open that stretch a little bit extra. Think about that. And one simple example of this in our body is when proteins are brought into the body, digestive enzymes break them down into amino acids. So you may have heard that amino acids are essentially kind of our protein building blocks. And when we put carbohydrates into our body, carbohydrates are broken down and stored as glucose within muscles. So that's our kind of most common energy source is glucose. So let's go ahead and bring it down. Let's bring that left leg up. And so obviously, if you're not breaking these things down or storing them appropriately, you're kind of wasting a little bit of what you've spent the time making good choices for food-wise. And when you're not using them, they can be stored. So we know about fat storage accumulating within the body, or they just go out as waste too. And so that could happen with something more like a B vitamin, where we don't really store it and we're either going to use it or it's going to be kind of flushed out of the system. So some things that have some negative impact on absorption. Let's kind of hit on a few of these. Bring that leg across, get into that hip stretch from this point. Because we're talking about the GI tract through here, problems with gut bacteria, gut health, IBS, like irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, or a diet high in sugar, or a diet high in processed foods, or kind of any of those mixed together are definitely going to negatively impact how you have an ability to absorb things. And one thing that we can definitely all affect ourselves on is allowing ourselves either foods that are more fresh and raw, as opposed to the high processed or the highly sugared stuff. Let's bring that knee across. Let's get into that twist and switch it to the next side. And we know that, hopefully I've taught you, if you didn't know already, that our processed foods are lower in nutrients, right? And they're usually higher in sugars. They're kind of, balanced like so. And they rob the body of particular micronutrients that we want. And the main one of those being magnesium, but also vitamin C and vitamin B are often depleted when we're high in processed foods as a part of our diet. Let's undo that twist. Let's bring the bottoms of the feet together next. And let's kind of get into a little knee pressing down as we open up the inner thighs here. Once again, let's kick into some of that nice breathing, nice big inhales, nice slow, long exhales coming out of there. Also, certain medications can screw up your absorption. So antacids, something that we touched on with heartburn, blood pressure medications, antidepressants, and hormone medications. These can all interfere with your nutrient levels within the body, as can stress and alcohol. And by stress, more times than not, we're talking about perceived stress, things that are more mental in approach than actually physical. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves up and out of here and into our half kneeling position. Left knee is down, right foot is out in front. We're going to bring that left arm up into the air. We're going to squeeze our butt on that left side, and we're going to open along the front of the left side of the body. And so this kind of came up time and time again, was stress and alcohol. Alcohol breaks down our good bacteria within the body, and specifically in the gut, as does stress. Stress is very, very potent in potentially making our gut health go down quickly. Let's bring that hand down, and let's bring that leg across, and let's get ourselves into a good pigeon pose. And so stress requires nutrients, right? Our body is using up nutrients. Like I touched on just a minute ago, vitamin C, vitamin B, and magnesium oftentimes are what stress kind of is using nutrient-wise. It also happens to be the same type of things that these processed foods are robbing our body from. So making sure that you're keeping your stress in line. You can be mindful of it. You can work on your breathing. You take breaks throughout the day, but try to remember that stresses can be very, very powerful influencers on our body and our absorption. Let's bring ourselves up. Let's switch our kneeling position to having our right knee down next. Left foot is out in front. We're going to bring that right arm up. We're going to squeeze your butt on that right side. We're going to breathe. We're going to smile. It is Tuesday. Enjoy yourself, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting into the groove of things. So what can we do about being positive, about being proactive? Well, we already addressed the food. A diet in more whole foods is a great way. And let's get even a little bit more specific into that. Variety within our foods is super important, as we have various micronutrients associated with all variations of food. The more we can put that into our body, the better and happier it is. Let's bring that hand down. Let's bring that leg across. So we get kind of more of a plethora of those nutrients through that. And then we also get pairings of foods. And so foods that might have some vitamin C that pair with iron can have a really, really positive effect in boosting our ability to absorb stuff. And so good vitamin C rich foods would be like oranges, red bell peppers, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Iron rich foods being like legumes, beans, and red meats. So if you can pair a little bit of that stuff together, there's a little booster for the body. Healthy fats are definitely a booster for the body. Let's go ahead and gently bring our way back up. We'll finish up with a little neck work. Jackson might lead you through a little bit of palm work as well. But having those healthy fats, we've discussed how important that healthy fats are for absorption of various minerals. Those minerals, those vitamins being vitamin A, D, E, and K, they're fat-soluble vitamins. So if you don't have healthy fats within your foods, you're not going to be able to really absorb that stuff. And so that could be as simple as adding some nuts or seeds or avocados to what you're eating. Could be putting a little bit of olive oil or kind of a nice healthy oil into what you're doing lightly. You don't need to overdo it too much. Taking a probiotic, if we're talking about gut health and good bacteria, that can be a good way to reintroduce kind of good positive bacteria into the gut. This one was cool. Avoid drinking tea with meals. That was kind of interesting. They say that the polyphenols, which are usually a good thing for us in our teas, that they can block our iron absorption. And so you're anemic if you have problems with iron absorption, and that's actually not necessarily a super rare thing in our society. So save the tea for either the nighttime or the morning. Try to avoid it around the eating meals. Take a break from the caffeine and the alcohols. That definitely screws up what your gut's doing. Manage those stress levels. And then last but not least, hydrate, right? We're primarily made of water as human beings. Your body wants to be in homeostasis. It needs hydration to be there. Jackson, that's what I got from here. You got anything to tack on?
I just really like the hydration aspect, because you're trying to break down and dissolve what you put in your body. So you put something that's into solution, you dilute whatever you're putting in your body that's more likely to be absorbed. And then the oil, the fat side of things, usually in the low intestine where everything's getting absorbed, it has to cross a lipid layer, a fatty layer. So the more that you have water and some good oils and fats in your system, I mean, I know that's oversimplifying. Sean just gave you a really in-depth description of how this works, but get your water and fat in you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, healthy fats,
Yeah.
hydration, and once again, we're kind of just, continuing to go back over healthy living principles of eat well, minimize your processed foods, drink water, all that good stuff. Manage your stress.
Did you mention really chewing your food? I don't know if I heard.
Oh, I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
One. You're right. Chew your food, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. So you're supposed to chew your food 20 to 30 times before you swallow. And they really show, like, you ever looked after you done your duty and you notice like big chunks or leaves or all that? That stuff didn't really get broken down within your body. So chew your food to absorb it better, to get those nutrients.
Although the absorption happens in the low intestine, digestion starts in the mouth with the salivary amylase.
That's true. Yeah. It starts right there, and then it works down into various kind of other breakdowns between esophagus, stomach, and then intestine. Yeah. You're good. You're well versed in this.
A couple of courses in biology didn't hurt.
I didn't do well in those.
Oh, I loved it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a good day. We will look forward to seeing you on Thursday.